So this is the what could happen without Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Current map is right here, and this is the plausible scenario. And here's what I'm going to say. There's a lot of people that will look at this and be like, well, isn't this dangerous? Isn't this dangerous for all of these regions to essentially eliminate? We all understand which states tend to be more conservative, which tend to be more liberal, which tend to be more swing states. Is it dangerous for this kind of gerrymandering, this kind of redistricting, this kind of self-sorting that potentially could take place? And on one level, yeah, it potentially is. But let me tell you what's more dangerous. What's more dangerous is when one side shows up to play the game, and the Democrats have been showing up to play the game forever, and one side doesn't out of principle. It would be really nice if not doing something out of principle actually helped you win, if it actually convinced people. But here's the problem. Democrats have completed the Gramscian march through the institution with respect to our public education system, our higher education system, Hollywood, a sizable portion of the media, the bureaucracy. And so this idea that we're going to win by setting just a really, really good example, because two rights don't make a wrong. Let me tell you what also doesn't make something right. Getting destroyed because you refuse to fight back. Now, look, I would love to live in a world where we could sit down and we could reasonably discuss these ideas, and we could reasonably discuss how districts should be drawn, and we could come up with clear, understandable guidance. But here's what I've increasingly found. One side of this debate doesn't actually consistently apply the laws of logic. They will apply them insofar as it is useful to them, but the moment it's not, all of a sudden the laws of logic, linear thinking, critical thinking, these becomes tools of the patriarchy, tools of the oppressor, tools of the white man, right? And if you're telling me I'm being hyperbolic, okay, I invite you to go look at what they put up at the Smithsonian, where they listed off linear thinking, the scientific method, as attributes of whiteness. Right? This whole postmodernist critical theory deconstructionist viewpoint, which the Democrats have adopted. It's not like we foisted it upon them. It's not like Democrats even always believed it. They have chosen to believe it. They've chosen to accept this as the core philosophy upon which they build their political policy. Okay, great. Well, postmodernism denies the existence of objective truth. Deconstructionism denies the existence that words have objective meaning, that essentially that they're only tools in order to wield power. Critical theory essentially states that disparities within society can all be chalked up to corrupt power structures, which have to be either torn down or co-opted by who? The critical theorists, whether it's critical race theory, queer theory, radical feminism, right? All of it tends to be rooted in a Marxist interpretation of the world. Marx might have focused a little bit more on the economic struggles. Now it's the racial struggles, or it's the sexist struggles, or whatever else it is. But the bottom line is that there's only one solution for them, and that's the left has to control power. The left has to control government, because the only one's capable of giving us a nice, calm, tolerant, equitable utopia. And if we don't agree with that, well, then we're enemies. We're bad. We're Nazis. We're fascists. We're threats to democracy. What happens when we win an election? Doesn't matter. You're still a threat to democracy. And so whenever you're arguing with someone that uses that kind of reasoning, how long are you going to stand there? How long are you going to stand there and get kicked in the face in a fight that is only supposed to be following Marquis of the Queensberry rules? So I'm not saying we should engage in evil. I'm not saying that we should engage in blatant dishonesty. I'm saying that if Democrats for decades now have drawn their districts in such a way as to eliminate conservative representation within their states, well, then maybe it's time for conservative states to do the same thing. Because otherwise you're just going to get destroyed with respect to your congressional representation. Like that's it. That's the bottom line. That's how this works.